Hi everyone! Today we are going to talk about how to play Patios by Jesús, Torres, Castro, a game illustrated by Javier ink column that shows us the beauty of this typical Cordoba festivity, declared intangible cultural heritage by UNESCO. A patio is a type of community yard inside a building, like an open hall, and it's typically in the south of Spain, Andalusia, mostly in Cordoba. Patios is a game suited for ages above 10. From 2 to 5 players, and with an approximate duration of 45 minutes. The goal in the game is to take part in the Patios festival and have the most beautiful flowers surrounding your well, in plant pots and matching balconies, building the most splendorous patio of the city and being the player with the highest score. Setup. In order to start, each player takes a well card and places it in front of them facing up. Takes as many plant pot cards of each color as players are in the game. Deal the cards in such a way, each player has 2 cards of 2 different colors. Then, starting with the initial player, each one places one of their cards facing up beside their well, and the other card facing down. They can be placed both orthogonally and diagonally. Form a deck with the rest of the cards and put them in the middle of the table. Each player takes a coin and places it beside their patio. Flip as many cards from the flower deck as told by this table, depending on the number of players. Therefore, making up the sample. In this example, we show a setup for 3 players. Place the visitor's card on the table. Then place as many characters facing down beside the visitors as told by the table in the rulebook. Next, place the remaining characters facing up in the row. The visitors are therefore in the last position. The sun card can't be facing up among the first 3 cards of the row at the start of a round. If this happens, place the sun card just in front of the cards facing down. Leave the improvement cards beside the row of characters. Put all the score tokens aside. Game round. In each round of Patios, everyone plays their turn one by one in anti-clockwise direction. In their turn, the active player performs the following actions in order. 1. Choose a character and perform their action. 2. Place the card of the character used in the last position. 3. Replace the sample if necessary. If the flower deck is empty, shuffle the discard deck and make a new flower deck. 4. Flip the character card that is facing down and closest to the first position. 5. Apply the effect of sun if it is the first card, or finish the round if it is the visitors. The round ends when the visitors reach the beginning of the row. In that moment, each player performs the following actions. Water their patio using the cane, hose, or watering can cards. Flipping the dry flowers to make them beautiful. Cane cards can water 2 adjacent cards. Discard all the dry flowers remaining in their patio. Score in the following way. If you have at least 3 beautiful plant pot cards of the same color, take a trio token of the corresponding color. You can't take more than 1 color trio token per round. If you have a trio of 1 color and more plant pot cards of that same color, score 2 points for each extra card. For example, this player scores 4 points. Each plant pot card of a color without trio, 1 point. If you fulfill the requirement of a balcony card, you earn as many points as plant pots appear in it. Balconies show plant pots from a specific color, blue, red, or green, and clay plant pots that represent groups of plant pots of the same color. For example, this balcony card has its requirements fulfilled by having 1 blue plant pot card and 3 plant pot cards of the same color, whatever the color is. If the player completes it, they will score 4 points for it. Having your balcony under work takes away 2 points. Players keep their scores secret. In order to start the next round, each player must discard all their balcony, canes, and improvement cards. Discard all the trios they got. Take 1 beautiful and 1 dry flower card of each color from the rest of the plant pots and discard the others. If the player has done work on their patio, flip the card as well. Every card still in the patio should get as close to the well as possible, so they are all around it. All the used improvement cards are shuffled and returned to the bottom of the deck. Each player can take a plant pot or balcony card from the sample, paying 2 coins. The last player of the last round will be the new initial player. Once this is done, the new round begins. The game ends at the end of the 3rd round. When that happens, players count the score of their tokens and the following extra score. For every 3 trio tokens of different colors, 15 points. For every 2 trio tokens of different colors, 8 points. For every one individual trio token not paired, 3 points. The winner is the player with the highest score. Characters. Each character has an action that is triggered when it's chosen. Gardeners. Take a plant pot card from the sample of the same color as the gardener or any balcony card and place it in their patio. The rest of the players in order do the same, but they place the card facing down until there are no cards of the same color or balcony cards left, or every player has taken a card. If the well is completely surrounded when trying to place a new card, the player must carry out extension work to remodel their patio. In order to do that, flip the well card. Now the player will be able to place more plant pot cards. Water carrier. A cane card that can be used immediately. Take a cane card that can be used immediately or placed in the patio to use it later. The rest of the players do the same if their canes are left in the sample. Assistant gardener. Take as many cards from the deck as players in the game +1. The player takes 1, places it on their patio facing up, and passes the rest to the player on their left. This one does the same, but placing the card facing down, except if it's a cane. That must always be placed facing up. Children. The player takes a card from the draw deck and places it facing up on their patio. Then the player trades one of their cards with anyone. Both cards must be in the same position, facing up or down. They can't trade canes, balconies, or special cards. Sun. The player chooses a direction, north, south. The rest of the players must flip the card they have in that position. If there was an already dry plant in that position, it is discarded. If there are no cards in that position, the owner of the patio must draw an adjacent card. If there were more than one card in that position, the player will draw one in the second row. A cane card can be used in the moment to prevent the plant from drawing. If no one chooses it and it reaches the beginning of the row, everyone can use their canes in order to water the dry cards. Those that are not watered will be discarded. The sun card is taken to the end of the row as if it was used. The neighbor. The player takes 2 cards from the improvement deck, keeps one, and gives the other to their apprentice. When a player selects this card, any other person can give that player a coin to become their apprentice. If more than one offers them a coin, the player must choose only one. If there wasn't anyone interested, a second card is discarded. If there are no cards left in the deck, the player takes an improvement card from another player. Visitors. When this card reaches the first position, it triggers the end of the round. Previously explained. Improvement cards. These cards are obtained after using the neighbor. Unless told otherwise, they can be played immediately or saved for later in the player's turn. Awning. This card is placed in the patio and protects from the sun effects. At the end of the round, the player will be able to keep one extra plant pot they should have to discard. For example, this player can keep up to 2 red cards facing up instead of 1. Guitarist. Move the visitors 2 positions in any direction. After playing it, take a coin from the reserve, if any, and return the guitarist to the bottom of the deck. Flamenco Dancer, with traditional Cordovian dress. When playing it, place facing up all the character cards. Choose one and perform its action without moving it from its place in the row. At the end of the turn, place facing down the characters you want according to the number of players. After using it, take a coin from the reserve and return the dancer to the bottom of the deck. Hose. This card is placed in the patio, and when you water your plants, this card can water up to 3 cards adjacent among them and adjacent to the hose, so you can share out its effects in different directions. For example, the hose could water these 3 flowers, or these other 3, but it couldn't water these 3 cards. Ladder. This card is also placed in the patio. It can share space with the hose and cane cards. When using these cards, if they are placed in the ladder, they can water any card of the patio, not just the adjacent ones. The ladder is kept until the end of the round. Water can. It can be used to water just one balcony card immediately, or it can be placed in the patio to water later all the balcony cards that are facing down. Return the water can to the bottom of the deck after using it. Tub. This card can be used as a wild card to score as a plant pot of any color. It can dry up as any other flower card, but it can't be moved by the children. And up to here, today's video on how to play Patios. A fantastic game showing up the beauty of this great Cordoba festivity from Cordovan author, illustrator, and editors that will help you learn more about this precious tradition.